C, accept and place on file the City of North Platte audit for fiscal year ending September 30, 2024. D, send the application of venue 304 for a Class C liquor license, beer, wine, distilled spirits on and off sale for their location at 304 East 5th Street to the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission with no recommendation. E, send the application of McCabe's Pub and Lounge for a Class CK liquor license, beer, wine, distilled spirits on and off sale and catering for their location at 402 North Dewey Street to the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission with no recommendation. As I stated before, item F has been removed.
Mr. Nisley, I would move that we approve the consent agenda, less item F.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote on that. That consent agenda is approved. Okay, we'll go to the regular agenda. Item number 2, adopt the resolution to submit the 2025-27 grant application to the Nebraska Department of Transportation for the state and federal assistance for the North Platte Public Transit Department.
I move to adopt the resolution to submit the 2025-2027 grant application to the Nebraska Department of Transportation for the state and federal financial assistance for the North Platte Public Transit Department.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion on item number 2? Hearing none, we will vote on item number 2. That motion has passed. Number 3, adopt the resolution authorizing the city attorney to participate in the sheriff's sale for the property located at 2103 West 2nd Street on behalf of the city of North Platte.
I move to adopt the resolution authorizing the city attorney to participate in the sheriff's sale for the property located at 2103 West 2nd Street on behalf of the city of North Platte.
Second.
All right, Mr. Trzynski, did you want to just give a brief explanation on this one to the council members?
Yes, Mr. Nisley, happy to. So this resolution is just to give me the ability to go to this sheriff's sale that is scheduled. I believe it's scheduled for next week. And so my intent would be to, we've talked about in our committee where we are looking for properties to buy with the housing grant funds that the city's been awarded. This is one that has been on our list for some time. We've kind of been waiting for the county to get to the stage where it will be sold at a sheriff's sale. So that's what we're talking about having me participate in. My intent then would be with whatever we could potentially purchase it for at that sheriff's sale, I would come back to the council with another resolution to seek then approval of the resolution to officially purchase the property for that amount. Because with any sheriff's sale, the sale has to go back through the district court, get approval. So there's some other steps that have to happen after this. This is just some kind of a formal action so that we can have somebody there to try to buy this property, get it cleaned up.
So,
Mr. Nisley?
Yes, Mr. Reaper.
So you all know I don't like this type of operation. I've had somebody talk to me the other day about another property that they really wanted to buy and for whatever reason didn't end up buying it. But so Bill, if we get into a situation where somebody else bids on the property, a private individual bids on the property, is your intent to try to bid higher to acquire that property, or just let the public have the property?
I would say that it would depend on what their purpose would be. If they're there because they want to come in and get the property cleaned up, then I don't feel that the city's role is to get in the way of that private citizen's, intentions. The city's only interest here is that we feel that we can save some additional taxpayer expense because of the grant funds that are there. This is one of those properties that is on the condemnation list, and so we feel that there had been I believe, if memory serves, there had been a fire at this property, and there's been no one in it for quite some time. And so we just want to make sure that it gets cleaned up. So if somebody else shows up, they want to go to the effort to demolish the house, get the lot cleared, and put more housing on there, then I don't see that it's the city's role to stand in their way.
Okay.
But if they want to come in and they just leave it there, I'd probably have some concerns, and I'd make them very aware that the city would still plan to pursue those condemnation proceedings. So, so as long as anybody is fully aware of what's on the table, that's, they say with these types of sales, it's buyer beware. So
Of course.
make sure you know what it is that you're going into. And obviously the city is very well aware of what's going on with this property. So I would just want to make sure anybody else who's there, that's the other reason that I want to be there, is because I want to, if somebody else does end up buying it, I want to be able to talk to them and let them know what the city's expectations are about getting it cleaned up.
Thank you.
How does that process work? 'Cause in the middle of an auction, you can't just stop to them in sidebar and say, hey, just so you know, you gotta let the auction go and then talk to them afterwards, don't you?
We didn't have grant funds to purchase anything last year, but I did go to a sheriff's sale last year where I did the same type of thing, where there were a couple bidders there, mostly just neighbors that were interested in what was going to happen with the property. And so, I was there just to make sure that that particular property last year, we were worried that someone was going to just leave it in the same state it was in. And so I was there to inform people that the city planned to take further steps, and that I really just wanted to find out whose hands it was going to be in so that I could get that started right away. So I hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I believe are they fairly informal where you can kind of talk? And
They are.
Fair enough.
I go there early enough to see who's going to be there,
Good.
and they're not very formal processes. No.
Gotcha. Because I agree with Councilman Raker. I don't want to be bidding up house flippers and people that want to, do something with the property. But if nobody else is going to do anything with it, then yeah, I'm a big fan of cleaning this mess up. I drove by it today. That's problems.
Bill, so help me understand the whole condemnation procedure. How does that work? And then what are the cities, what's the city authorized to do after a property has been condemned?
So it depends on the specific power that the court authorizes. So a condemnation proceeding is authorized for the city to pursue if the court finds that the property is in violation of city ordinance, is a danger to public health and safety. So there are all those things that you have to be able to show in order to get to that condemnation step. And then the next step is whatever specific relief it is that you're asking the court to authorize. Some instances, it's cleaning up junk or personal property that is creating rodent harborage, different problems that can lead to public health and safety risks. For properties that are falling down, they've had a fire, then generally we're asking permission to go in and just to level the place. And so we've asked for that, and we've asked for different types of relief depending on the status of the house. And so our city building inspectors are heavily involved in the process. They're inspecting the buildings and providing us advice for the legal proceedings as to what needs to happen with the building to get it back to be in compliance with the city code.
So in the event a property is condemned, can those funds be used then for the condemned property to clean it up?
You're talking the grant funds?
Yes.
Yes, that's one of our reimbursable costs is the cleanup as well.
So we could actually allow these properties to go to a condemnation procedure, and then we could still utilize the funds, the grant funds to put these properties back into a marketable situation.
That's the whole purpose. Yeah, is we want to get them back into the hands of somebody that's going to develop them. And so, this particular property that this resolution addresses, the reason that I haven't filed a condemnation on it is because the property owners are deceased and nobody has filed any kind of an estate or a probate action for them. And so we really can't pursue condemnation proceedings against a deceased person. And, you know, we as the city don't want to be the ones going into court and opening up probates. And from my perspective, I feel we have the ability to do things similar to that, but we prefer not to. We feel that our resources are better used in other places, but in this particular instance, I mean, that's one of the legal roadblocks, and that's why we've allowed the county tax foreclosure proceedings to continue, because this is one way to transfer legal ownership. The sheriff can issue a deed and put it into the hands of a new owner. So
Is that a common circumstance where these properties are sitting there, the owner's deceased, and
there are maybe a handful of them on our property lists that are in similar standing, where the property owner has passed away and there's either no family or the family doesn't want anything to do with the property. So, you know, they certainly create some challenges in trying to get the city cleaned up and to try to address those properties. So, depending on the circumstances, we try to take the path of least resistance. And I would tell you in this particular instance with this property on 2103 West 2nd, in my opinion, this is the path of least resistance, is that we get it into the hands of new owners. It ends up being the city. If nobody else is interested, then we at least clear the way to get it cleaned up and into the hands of somebody that can do something good with it.
so what happens in a circumstance if you have a tax sale and nobody bids on it, nobody buys it, then what happens?
They have to the county has to go through the process and advertise for another sheriff's sale. So they have to sell it. And, you know, there have been instances where properties have sold for $1. And, you know, it's, with the nature of the tax sale proceedings now, things are a lot different than what they had been 5-10 years ago. So it's kind of still kind of a murky area of the law because of some recent changes in the law, but it has to be sold. And so, you know, I think don't want to speak for Mr. Volkmer in the county attorney's office, but I think he's probably relieved to know that there is at least some interest in this property, so they know they can get it sold and get the taxes resolved.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? We will vote on item number 3. Motion passes. Okay, item number 4, second reading and action to adopt ordinance number 4199 to amend Title 9, Chapter 91 of the City Code of the City of North Platte to revise Section 91.21 relating to the clearing of sidewalks and to add Section 91.29 relating to penalties for violation of sidewalk ordinances. Want to read the ordinance?
Ordinance number 4199, an ordinance of the City of North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska, to amend Title 9, Chapter 91 of the Code of the City of North Platte by revising the provisions of Section 91.21 relating to the clearing of sidewalks and by adding Sections 91.29 relating to penalties for the violation of sidewalk ordinances, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for the effective date and publication thereof.
Mr. Nisley, I move to adopt ordinance number 4199 to amend Title 9, Chapter 91 of the Code of the City of North Platte to revise Section 91.21 relating to the clearing of sidewalks and to add Section 91.29 relating to penalties for the violation of sidewalk ordinances on second reading.
Second.
Okay, a motion made by Councilman Reeker, second by Councilman Garrick. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, let's vote on item number 4. motion passes. Item number 5 is third reading and action on ordinance number 4194 to rezone certain land from B1 Neighborhood Commercial District to an R3 Dwelling District located at 4005 and 4015 West A Street. Lane, would you read the,
Ordinance number 4194. An ordinance of the city of North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska, rezoning certain lands described as lots 3 and 4, block 2, Lakeview First Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska, from a B1 neighborhood commercial district to an R3 dwelling district, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the effective date and publication thereof.
I move to adopt ordinance number 4194 to rezone certain land from a B1 neighborhood commercial district to an R3 dwelling district located at 4005 and 4015 West A Street on final reading.
Second.
Nick, so it had been a motion by Councilman Garrick and a second by Councilman McNew to approve item number 5. Any discussion on that issue?
Mr. Nisley?
Yes.
As with the prior readings, I'd just request to abstain from this item.
Thank you, Mr. Lucas. Any further discussion? Let's vote on item number 5. That motion passes. Again, the public hearings on item number 6 and number 7 have been removed from the agenda. Item number 8, approve the claims.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Nisley, I move that we approve the claims. Second.
Okay, a motion by Councilman Reeker, second by Councilman Dye to approve the claims. Any discussion? All those in favor, all those, please vote on item number 8. That motion passes. Okay, public agenda requests. We respect city employees and request that any complaints or criticisms of employees not be aired in a public meeting. Concerns about employees should be brought to the attention of the city administrator or mayor. Individuals in violation will be declared out of order. I see no one out there wanting to make a presentation today, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Nisley, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Reader, seconded by Council McNew to adjourn. Vote on that issue. That motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.
Good job, Jim.
We got through it, gentlemen. Thank you for your help.